For Christians throughout the world, today is a somber day, a day marked by death and by darkness. It, along with Ash Wednesday, are the only two major fast days in the church. They are marked on the calendar with the color black, and both days bring human frailty to the forefront. I know that I have preached, or at least said this to many of you before, but the liturgical calendar isn't just something that tells us what color the church decorations should be. The calendar is a cycle that we live in. We are always circling through it in our own lives. We, in our own way, know what it feels like to have Jesus wash our feet on Maundy Thursday. In today's world, that might look like someone bagging your groceries, someone who is changing sheets in a nursing home, doctors and nurses who are on the front lines for all those who are sick. We, in our own way, know what the quiet of Holy Saturday feels like. It might be waiting for test results, waiting to hear the phone ring, to hear your child or parent made it home safely, waiting for someone to be born, waiting for someone to die. These are all Holy Saturday moments. We all know what the resurrection of Easter feels like. It's the joy of homecomings, laughter around the dinner table. It's falling in love, getting the new job. It's seeing everything fall into place. Today is no different. We all know what it feels like to live a Good Friday, if not a whole season of Good Friday. Today is the day we witness the worst of humanity, the worst the world has to offer. The Good Fridays of our lives are heartbreaking. It's the diagnosis we don't want to hear. It's the phone call we don't want to get. It is the despair of losing a loved one. It is the anguish of failing and of forgetting what hope looks like. It is a place where God seemingly cannot be found. Today is the day that we learn that God doesn't give us the false promise that everything is always going to be okay, because sometimes it just isn't. It is the day, however, that God promises to never leave us. Sometimes it feels safe to say that God is always in control and that God always has a plan. But in the end, those ideas fail us. God does not desire or plan for tragedy. God does not see suffering only as a means to a good end. Instead, today gives us a glimpse of a God wherein no matter how much the world hurts, no matter how much we fail or how much the world and life fails us, God will be there. Not to put a Band-Aid over it and tell us to go on our way, but to grieve with us, to cry next to us, to hold us and suffer right alongside us. God's Son died today, unjustly, and in one of the most cruel ways that humanity has come up with to date. Jesus suffers. His disciples, out of fear, flee. While we know that Sunday morning is coming, they didn't have that gift. For those witnessing the very first Good Friday, the day ended in darkness and with fear and trembling. Now I know that Easter will be here in a few days, and that the biblical darkness that I'm speaking of will vanish, and we'll all be saying our Alleluias. But the truth is, we're all really in Good Friday today. Today, we let our own burdens and crosses be known, even if only to ourselves. Today, we acknowledge more openly all the burdens that the world is carrying. We think about the death of broken relationships, the death of futures we will never see, the death of the perfect image of ourselves we want projected to the world instead of our reality. There is the death of a just world, a peaceful world, a world where when God shows up in the form of Jesus, we embrace him rather than reject him and his love for all. We don't know when or how any of these particular Good Fridays of our lives will end. Our only consolation is that as Jesus died today, he did so not as a great leader, not in battle with sword and white horse. He died without appearing like a great deity with splendor and majesty. Jesus died as humanly as possible, nearly naked, thirsty, betrayed, and without comfort. In doing so, Jesus made even human death and destruction holy. Not so that we can write off death and despair as small or insignificant, not so that we can make light of it, but rather so that all those who die too soon or alone, all those who suffer from pain, loneliness, isolation, all those who wonder where God is, will not be forgotten. Jesus made death holy so that we remember that every death, literal or figurative, is worth mourning. Every death is worth a day of despair, and that every death is witnessed by God as sacred. On this Good Friday, death is near. As God did once long ago, may God today and forever make holy even that which evil uses as a means to destroy. Amen.